Check 1, 2. Deep Ellum on air.
Right, you're on mute.
Deep Ellum on air.
It's time to really get our party on now.
What I am saying happens to be the oldest message of human wisdom. Look within, find your own divinity, then detach yourself from social and material struggle.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sisters Divine Radio. My name is Morgan Lynn, and of course, as always, I am with Cheryl Andrea. Good morning, sweethearts.
Good morning.
Happy October. October's here.
I know, both of us love October.
I do. I love the change in the weather, the change in the barometric change, like that whole shift from the beatdown of the summer to a little reprieve. I love it.
That's the word I was thinking, reprieve. I feel excited again.
Yeah.
October rolls around and I'm like, oh, that's right. I like Dallas after all.
I think I'll stay another year.
Yeah, I think I'll stay another year. Now, the contrast is by the time we get to about mid-April, I start panicking. Oh no.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. The heat is on its way. I do. I start planning.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I start
wow.
planning all of the places I'm going to go through the summer that have air conditioning.
Where you're going to work every day, like go into the coffee shops and, okay, if I park really close.
I can make a mad dash.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't do heat. I'm not a heat lover.
I don't
at all.
either. I don't either. I lived in Arizona for 7 years, and it was, oh my God, like I would be sick through. Well, there's two seasons in Arizona. There's hot, and there's fucking hot. Like those are the only two seasons, and you get every now and then you get a drop of rain. Like that's it.
See,
And
I couldn't.
I
do
would
it.
be sick. I would have stomach aches. I would have headaches all
Yeah.
summer. Well,
Yeah, that's
all
not
year.
for me. Not at all. No, I've got to have some cool air.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because as long as my nose inhales cool air, the rest of my body can be in heat. I know that sounds
You're an
funny.
Eskimo.
I am an
because
Eskimo.
you got the parka and all it is your face. Everything's warm, but as long as you're
That's exactly right.
Wow.
I'm really serious. I used to, as a child in Alaska, sleep beside the window, cocooned in layers and layers of blankets. And I would even take my wool coat, the heaviness of that wool coat, and lay it over my bedding.
Yeah.
And then I'd crack the window by an inch. So I'd have the cool air, but I was snuggled deep and warm. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, I don't do heat.
No.
So I'm really, really grateful for October. October just feels divine.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
does.
and it ignites that whole magic witchy thing for me because now we're getting close to Samhain, Halloween, and I don't know. I just love this time of year.
Well, and we have a bunch going on this year. Or this
Well,
month.
yes, this year. But this month I posted on Sister
Yeah.
Divine. I'm like, oh, wait, we have a ton of things going on this month.
I know, and because the 4 or 5 things that you posted that are already planned and on the calendar. In addition to that, of course, we have our weekly radio.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a busy month.
Yeah.
Yay, I get to spend a bunch of time with you.
Yeah, and since we're on it, let's go ahead and tell everybody what we're doing because it is a fun month. Like, we always have the first Sunday fair, the Dallas Psychic Fair.
Yes.
That's on the 5th.
That is this Sunday. And for those of you who may be interested in joining us, it is at 4099 Valley View Lane in Dallas. That's at Midway and LBJ. Plan for a couple of extra minutes in traffic because that whole area is torn up in construction.
They're still working on it.
Yeah, and then of course you can always visit our website, which is DallasPsychicFair.com. We have a pre-scheduling board that goes live. Actually, it went live last Sunday.
Nice.
So for a week ahead of our event every month, we can pre-schedule our readings and make it easy. You come in and you get to pick up your tickets at will call. No stress. You don't have to worry about, am I going to get a reading with that reader?
Right.
So
it's a
that's
good way
always nice.
to schedule ahead. And
Yeah.
that way, if you're... I always fill up. I'm very grateful for that.
Yes.
And I hear every month, I came to see you and you're awful. I'm like, well, we schedule ahead. If you want to get me, go online.
And you know what I'm finding too? Now we've had that pre-scheduling board for, I want to say it's 2.5 years, maybe 3. We're going up on 3, I think. And I have noticed over this last year a dramatic increase in pre-sales. And it's because people are really seeing that there is a benefit to that, because there are probably 9 or 10 of you that are really popular in filling up those slots. So yeah, if
Very nice.
you want a session, pre-book it.
Yay, good. Then we have our second Wednesday gallery,
Yes.
the Divine
Yes.
Gathering, our psychic gallery that we do. And for anybody that was there last month, we changed up the energy. We shook it up a little bit, and I think it needed it.
Yep.
I was strongly suggesting that we do it. I'll own that. I felt like it needed some sprucing up and some like every now and then. If something is mundane and it's not working, then it starts dragging your energy down.
Yep.
And you know that. We're not being a service at that point. Now we're just kind of doing it because it's the way we've always done it. And that's not good enough for me.
Ooh, that's a really good point right there. Because we do that in life, right?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Where if it's just easier to do what we've always done, but then it doesn't feel so good. Because you've already progressed to something new internally. And that's what I hear you really saying.
Well, I think people get locked into that whole story of commitment. What commitment means. So we go, well, we can't change it this way. It's consistent, and I have a commitment to be consistent. It's like, but the commitment and the consistency aren't working. Like,
Okay, now you just left open something really. Get ready, people, because Morgan and I both thrive on change. So if you think that we're going to keep things the same, really.
that's the consistency. I'm always going to be I'm always going to be looking at what needs to happen now.
Yes.
Not the way I've always done it, because if people that have been following my career should know that today I'm doing something different than I did yesterday.
Yep.
And it works just as good, if not better. So hang on to your hats, because here we go.
I am right with you. I'm covered in goosebumps. I get it. That's the way I live.
Yeah.
I thrive on that change.
Yeah.
It's really important to me. And I think in a way that's another part that we model well for others is the fearlessness of doing so. Like, to me, I'm hungry for the next. Like, I want to see what else there is. I want to try on something new.
Well, it's about letting go of the old, but it is that program. I see so many people holding on to the old for the sake of holding on to it, for fear of letting it go and it ending. But if you don't, you'll never have the new. Yeah. And so I really saw that last month with our gallery. It's like people brought it. We brought it.
Oh, it was fabulous.
I heard several people afterwards saying, thank you for giving it back to us.
Yeah.
Giving back the responsibility and the empowerment, as opposed to the way we were doing, which isn't wrong.
No.
It had just kind of evolved to a place where it wasn't really serving.
Yeah, because I think the changes that we've made really, like we heard feedback on, really gave them back their sense of power. It puts it into proper perspective, perhaps, for themselves. And we are strong readers, and we see the information. We can give that to them. What they do with it is really their responsibility, and I think that's what we gave them back.
That's the empowerment.
The empowerment. So I'm really looking forward to this month. And that's on the 8th,
It is on the 8th.
Yeah, the 8th.
Second Wednesday. Then, of course, we have it's
Addison.
every 6 months, right? There's one in April and one in October. Is that right?
Yep.
It's the Wellness Fair in Addison on October 11th and 12th.
Yep.
And we are going to be there doing readings, in addition to our gallery that we do there.
Yeah, that gallery is always fun. Oh my gosh. The last time we did it in April, oh my gosh, how many people were in the room? 100 and something?
Oh, I think about
there had
that,
to be.
yeah.
There had to be.
Yeah.
The seats were all full.
Yeah.
And it is a free gallery for those in attendance at the Wellness Expo. I really love the energy of that expo because it's a slightly different take. It is geared around holistic health, but health of the whole being. So there's a little bit of everything there. There's mind, body, and spirit. And I adore Tony and Felicia, who have been producing that Wellness Expo for, I think
20 years.
I was going to say, I think it's at 20.
This is its 20-year anniversary.
Oh, how exciting. Yeah. Okay.
So a milestone there.
Yeah, it is a milestone.
Good. I love it. Last April was my 1st, and it was our first gallery.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first time we'd actually done that?
Yep.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I wanted more. I wanted it to go on all day. Like, I want more. What do you mean we have to leave now?
I know that's a tough one because it's a short gallery. It's only 30 minutes, and actually it's 25 minutes because we have to clear the stage and the next person comes on. So yeah, I really always enjoy it.
It's good practice though to be even more laser.
Yeah, it is.
Like that's something I got out of the psychic fair. Doing 15-minute readings, you don't have a lot of time to process and think, well, how should I say this?
Right.
It's like blah. There you go. Here it is.
Yep.
So I look at things like that, kind of like, again, my guys are game show hosts.
Yeah.
I look at it like a game show, like speed game show, like go, go, go. And it strengthens that muscle of just really trusting the self.
And
I love it.
it's really important to do it like that too. I love the way you just presented that. Being laser like that and go, go, go. As a reader, we'll have a less likelihood to impose our own filters, our own humanness into the information that we're giving. That's the real value I find in it.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Having to be laser, you don't have time to think.
Yeah, you don't have time to attach to, I don't know if they're going to get it. I don't know if
am I
they're going to
hurt
like
their
it.
feelings?
I'm past that.
I still do it every once in a while. Oh, God, do I really have to say that?
I preface with, I have to give it to you the way I get it.
I do that too.
That's my preface. I
Yep.
have to give it to you the way I get it. And in my mind, it kind of blankets, it puts a little salve on the burn because here it comes. Are you ready? That's the way I look at it. And then I go, well, you paid to be here.
I've said
and
that.
I'm like, so I would be doing you a disservice if I buttered it up for you.
We say the same thing.
Well, that's shocking. I don't know why we're surprised anymore.
I know, right?
And then, of course, we have our Divine workshop on October 19th. Super excited about that. So Cheryl and I, for the listeners out there, were brainstorming yesterday of the exercise and the meditations and the flow of the whole workshop. So if anybody has ever attended one of the Divine Series workshops or play shops, however you want to call it, you know they're amazing. I'm sorry, but they are freaking amazing.
Yeah,
and
they
we
are.
never really know how they're going to turn out because that is something that I love about working with you is we both just show up.
Yeah.
We know what our intention is.
That's right.
You know, honestly, on the phone yesterday, as long as I know the intention, I know the stuff. Like if I know the overall end result that we're going for, I know what we're doing. Like it's kind of weird, but it's that surrender.
I call it reverse engineering
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
because that's really what we're doing. We know what our intent is.
Yeah.
Spirit's going to show us what
I
we
like
need to
that.
fill in the blanks with. And I find that part of the excitement, part of the magic, because I don't always know what's up ahead. Like that
know.
piques my curiosity.
I know. I just show up and I'm like, ooh, I didn't even know that would happen.
I know.
Well, the last one we did was Divine Freedom.
Yes.
And we did a meditation. We knew the premise, like we knew the chunks we were going to talk about. But once you get into meditation and you're guiding people, for me, the meditation starts telling me what to say.
Yes.
That's why I try not to script it.
No, I can't.
And it'll tell me where to take the people. It'll tell me the journey
Mm-hmm.
in the moment. And I was tearing up on my portion.
Yes.
Which really stunned me. That has never happened. I was going through it with everyone, and it was this weird detachment of the sacred observer. I heard myself say the meditation, but I was experiencing it as well.
Yeah,
it was
it's
really
beautiful.
powerful for me.
That is
I
a
loved it.
really beautiful experience. I think when we allow ourselves to do such a thing, I look at it and hope that both our listeners today who may be joining us,
Both of them.
both of those listeners out there, you are too damn fast.
I'm like, I can just see both of them going, I'm here.
Both our listeners and
Does Jedi include as one?
no, Jedi's got 5 of his own personalities.
Oh, sweet. So we have at least 5 listeners.
Right?
Actually, y'all have a lot. Y'all have a lot of people watching right now, and you have
yay.
people asking questions in the chat box.
Ooh,
so whenever
okay.
y'all ready.
Ooh, let's throw some. Let's
Yeah,
go for
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Hold on, where'd it Mexico. Captain Lightworker, he says he really enjoys the show. It's his third time watching. And what are the ladies' take on what happened on December 21st, 2012?
Oh, I love that date. Yeah. First of all, thank you for being one of our new listeners. Really want to thank you. We're really grateful to hear that you get value out of it. So I want to acknowledge that. December 21st, 2012 was a gateway. And it was a gateway that anchored energy onto the planet, the newer paradigm of energy. Now, if we go back to 1987, that's when the harmonic convergence began. And it's when our planet began to, as it cycled through its annual process through the stars, through the galaxy, what would happen is each week since 1987, we would spend an extra week within what they call the photon band. So it was the distance that Earth was away from the sun and the moon, and it was the way that it was sitting within that photon band of higher frequency. So each year we progressed, and that's what the Mayan calendar mapped, was the progression of it. And the longer, the more quantity of weeks each year that we would spend in that photon band of higher frequency, the more that it evolved humanity and its ability to anchor that energy. So December 21st was the turning point where we now sit in that photon band fully.
It's interesting as you're talking, I'm seeing this imagery of a sky view of a pyramid that's a stair-step pyramid like that. So I guess like the Mayan.
That's
is
exactly
that Mayan?
right. Yep.
Like in 1986, 87 is the first level, and to have that
Yes.
rotation took a while.
Yep.
And then it got shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until finally we're at the top.
That's a beautiful,
That's what I'm seeing as we
beautiful
talk.
illustration
Cool.
of it. Oh my gosh. I love your guides.
They're like, thanks.
Exactly. Because they, the Mayans were really good at understanding the stars. They weren't really doing anything other than giving data around what they were able to understand and interpret, right? Or interpret and understand.
Right.
And so the Mayan calendar really was just showing us what we were headed toward. We also had right about the turn, into 2000, that's when the whole What Would Jesus Do campaign really took foothold in our society, and everybody's wearing those WWJD, bands and whatnot. And that was all about Christ consciousness. And we can say that the Mayans were really talking about Christ consciousness as well. It's just a higher frequency.
Yeah.
Is what they were
It's not
talking
the
about.
biblical conversation.
No.
It's the consciousness, the knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that allows us now, because now we're almost 2 years beyond that. We've spent the last 2 years in that photon band very strongly, consistently. So that first year, 2013, as we entered 2013, after that gateway, what it meant was we were opening up a whole bunch of stuff that needed to be healed, released, let go, because otherwise we couldn't sustain that energy, that higher frequency.
Cannot pass go.
That's right.
Unless you let go.
That's
of the
exactly
density.
right. So then 2014, after the year of 2013 and opening all of that up, 2014 has really been about the final last little tidbits, because if you don't have it released, it's going to be that much more traumatic
Yeah, you're
for us.
gonna get raked over the coals. Is
Yeah.
the feeling I get.
Exactly.
And I keep getting this imagery that, well, for me, 2012 was not the ending, but the beginning.
It absolutely was.
And everybody was running around thinking, oh, it's the ending. Well,
Yeah.
with every ending is a beginning.
Yeah.
So it's the ending of the old and the beginning of the new.
Yeah.
But to get into the new energies, we have to lighten up our load. We have to
Absolutely.
get the density off and the old stories off and all the old world. Yeah.
Well, and we made the switch from Pisces, the age of Pisces, to the age of Aquarian. So, or Aquarius. And, Pisces is all about the emotions, and it's all about the deep feelings. And so Aquarius is about humanitarian energy.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Very,
So
very
thanks
cool.
for that. Yeah.
bet.
Anybody else? What else you got?
Well, actually, I have a question
Bring
for
it.
y'all. Last night I was doing a cheater's bus, and I was sitting in the van, and I had the Google star map, and you can look at what the stars are. And I saw that Mercury, which is my planet, was about to go into my sign, which is Virgo. And I was wondering if y'all could give me any
I'm not the
advice on what
astrology
that
one. I am
means,
not
or-
I am not the expert astrology wise.
Well, first of all, I want to say you're lucky that Mercury is your planet, because when Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, it won't have the same impact on you as it does to the rest of us, where Mercury slows down. That's what Mercury in retrograde means, is it slows down, and it appears, although it is not in a complete standstill, it appears to be in a standstill. Now, the point of Mercury being in retrograde, which we're about to experience, I know, in October. I don't know the exact date, but I'll get that for our listeners later. When Mercury goes into retrograde, the whole point is for us to take stock internally, for us to slow down, because Mercury governs communication. Okay, so we're so externally communicative, emails, phone calls, computer, technology, all of this connectivity that we have, and all of our outward expressions. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it's really the reason that our electronic devices and phones and all of that stuff start malfunctioning, is because we're intended to take stock and go inside of us. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it's your governing planet. It's not going to have that same impact on you. It's a softer energy for you. Now, you as a Virgo.
Lucky.
I know, right?
It goes to retrograde on the 4th. By the way.
Oh, then we're already starting to feel it. That's what this is.
It's okay.
I know. Well, sorry. Getting excited there about Mercury. When Mercury does go into retrograde, I'm hoping that people will understand the explanation I just gave as not being a negative. Like, everybody goes around going, Mercury's retrograde, and they blame
The sky is
Mercury.
falling, the sky
yeah,
is
right,
falling.
right. Exactly. And it's not actually. It's really a good time for us to just slow down and be still. It's only a 3-week period, and so it's not a big deal. It doesn't last for months. Keep telling that
Everybody
story.
calm down.
Now, as far as you being Virgo and having Mercury, lining up and whatnot for you, that's going to be really powerful, because it'll mean communication for you. It'll mean a really strong alignment for communication. So anything that you want to get off your chest that needs to be said, anything that you want to launch into or start that you need to communicate around, get it done.
Cool.
Okay, because that's I feel it all around you right now. Like, your desire to launch forward, I can see it. So you're feeling that that kind of. It's like being at the starting gate as a racehorse, and the gate is there, and you can see right over the gate, but you can't really move yet because the gate hasn't. But you're pawing at it. You want
to know what's cool?
What?
So next Thursday, the host of Cheaters, Clark Gable, is starting a show here. Yes. And we have some big stuff planned for it. Like, he's going to have some really good, cool celebrity guests. Oh. And we hope to immediately get it syndicated and played on actual radio airwaves and or satellite.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
So yeah, we are starting new stuff, and that's next
That's
week.
awesome.
Hello. Look. Oh
Hello.
my gosh. Hello.
So you're telling me it's a good time then?
I am so telling you it's a good time. But get this. Hello, you're in the communications industry.
Yeah.
Like, this couldn't be a better alignment for you.
Go.
Go. Maybe we should cut back on coffee.
No.
So we got another question, Gypsy Alien. She says, lately energies have been so high. Do you have any insight on what's coming? Me and several people I know have been feeling as if they need to rest and prepare.
You would be accurate.
Absolutely. Especially after we just said that about Mercury. Take that time to be still for the next 3 weeks.
It's actually perfect to get that question because...
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. That's what I wanted to talk about. So last week...
Yeah.
We are going to answer your question, but we're going to do it, if you don't mind, in conversation, because it's one of the topics we wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. What the hell? This is the segment of the show. What the hell? We need game show.
Oh, right.
What the hell? Ding, 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 ding. Let's tell them what they want, Johnny.
I love it. We're going to do some props. Hey, we've got the visual aspect of this. Like, let's do some props. Yeah.
It needs to have lights. I need lights.
I know you do.
I do. I don't know why I have a game show inside of me. Okay, so yes, last week we brought the tarot cards out.
Yeah.
I wanted to share personally, and then I want to hear from you, like, what your week has been like. If you'll remember, I pulled the Tower card.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. All destruction, everything falling away.
Holy crap balls. Okay, so that was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday, I had a gigantic breakdown in a relationship, a close relationship. It was hanging on literally by a thread. Literally. And it was so interesting to watch the breakdown, like glass shattering,
Oh, good description.
and being okay with it, like having that detachment, knowing that this is needing to happen, forgetting that I drew the Tower card. I just remembered
Right.
that this morning. I went, oh my God, of course. And then just last night, it began to heal. Like, so it was broken down all those days.
Oh.
Now, that was on a personal level.
Right.
But professionally, in the midst of all of that, I started getting all these new downloads of new projects that I'm going to be doing. I get into these modes where I can't sleep. I've got to stay on the computer. I've got to type. I've got to get it written down. I have notes all over my house. I couldn't stop working.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. Like, I can't just go, okay, well, I'll pick that up in the morning. You know that.
No.
Once you start getting those downloads, it's like, oh, and I can do that, and I can do that. And your brain
Yeah.
and all the circuits are firing.
Yep.
So on the personal level, I had breakdown, and on the professional level, I had build up. It was a very interesting kind of duality for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I love the way you've described that, because when we do, you're talking about an internal energetic, you might say, recalibration, is the way I'm hearing it. But I also love the way you just described that frenetic energy of go, 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 go. You're in the midst of a download. Like, there's no way to stop that.
Yeah.
I want to mention something about that, because oftentimes we as humans sit there and we ponder, oh, should I or shouldn't I about things? But this is a really, really easy way to understand what your answer is internally. When you are given an idea, we call it an inspired idea because we recognize that it's coming from energetic form, and it enters into the crown chakra. We think about it and we start to own it once it becomes thought, right?
And then you have the emotional response.
Yes. And that passion that you're describing, it's a volume of energy that comes with an inspired idea. Now, not all thoughts have that, right? Sometimes we have a thought and it's just like, there's not a whole lot of energy behind it. The passion energy, that part that is built in with the inspired idea, is there on purpose to push us forward in action. It's you might say it's the driving force behind, so that we have the energy to take the actions. When we do not take the action, we hurt inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's painful to
There's
resist
no
that.
way I could have stopped.
That's right.
There's no way.
It's like trying to throw your brakes on
Exactly.
when you're going 70 miles an hour
Exactly.
to a dead standstill. Yeah, it's like whiplash, literally.
Yeah.
So I always encourage clients, when you feel passionate about something that you just had thought around, don't question whether you should or shouldn't do it. Just take an action toward it. It could be a small one. It could just be writing it. It could be listing. It could be research online about it. Whatever it is, take some form of forward action. Don't sit and question it.
Agreed.
If you don't have that passion energy built in with it, the inspired idea, then it's not really meant to take an action toward. And that helps clarify that for some. So keep going. You were talking about your week.
Oh no, that was pretty much it. Like I'm really excited for what's coming. But to directly answer the question, if you're feeling the need to rest and prepare, then rest and prepare.
Absolutely.
Everybody's having their own experience. We're all at different, like, I look at it like the ocean.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I've looked at it like that, like being a surfer. There are times when you're paddling out to the ocean, when you're doing the work to get out there. There are times when you're just sitting there waiting for the wave to come.
Yeah.
And then there's times when that wave comes and you got to haul ass,
Yeah.
get on it, right?
Yeah.
Get on the board,
Yep.
ride the wave. I look at life like that because sometimes it's appropriate to do the work
Yeah.
to get there. And then there's an appropriate pause.
Yeah.
The resting, the preparing, there isn't anything to do.
The watching the horizon.
It's just being, right? It's just the being energy.
Yeah.
And then there's the ride.
Yeah.
Get on it. Get on that wave. Get on that board and have fun with. That's where I am right now with this downloading process. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know the wave was coming. Shit, get on the board. Get on the board. Here we go. Woo! That's it.
You know what's great about that metaphor is that
or analogy. No.
analogy. I know. Didn't we just? You saw that. Look, you saw that go across my face. I was like, wait, is it a metaphor?
Meta-analogy. That's what we're calling it now. Our meta-analogies. TM. Ding.
Right, exactly. What I love about that is, now my brother is a surfer, And I've tried surfing growing up in Hawaii the latter half of my childhood. That is hard work, by the way. It is not easy work. I like the riding of the wave part. The rest of it is hard. But in that meta-analogy, what I love about it is that you don't have to work hard when the wave catches you.
Right.
When the universe gives you the answer and you write it, you don't have to put effort into it. It's so minimal.
You just have to get on the board.
That's right.
In other words, I had to put down the information I was being given.
Yep.
If I don't, then the wave is going to go.
You're going to get tumbled.
It's that whiplash. If you don't take action when you're inspired, it's going to go.
Yeah,
it's going to swallow you.
Absolutely.
So
That's a good
wherever you are is where it's perfect. If you feel guided to rest, rest. If you feel guided to go, go. But there is an appropriate being and an appropriate action.
Absolutely. And I love that question. Gypsy Alien, I believe.
I
is
love
the
that
one.
name,
I know
by the
that-
way.
The name is
Jealous
great.
I didn't think about it.
know,
I'll be
right?
the gypsy, you be the alien.
Of course you'd steal the gypsy part.
I'm not alien.
Well, I'll fess up. Yeah, I love that question because, and your answer is really, I agree wholeheartedly. If you feel that it's time to rest and gear up, I want to point out that that is your own inner voice speaking to you and that you noticed it. That's really what I want to say here is I want to commend you for noticing that that's what your voice was saying to you, because that also tells you that you're aligned really well to listening to your own intuition. And the more that you do that, the easier the journey is, first of all, and the stronger that intuitive muscle becomes, so that when you're in the crisis or the chaos portion of our life where it's really active and busy, you'll hear it. You'll be more likely to hear it. So in these times where we feel it's necessary to sort of sit and be still and watch and be that sacred observer of your own experience, you're building that muscle so that you can withstand the other portions, the paddling out, in life. So, yeah. The other thing is all of us have our own unique ebb and flow.
Yes.
There is not a right or a wrong way. And we really, really, really need to begin honoring that because, we all come in with different astrological signs, and even within all of the Pisces that are on the planet, I use that because I'm a Pisces, all of us as Pisceans, we're going to have different aspects. There's 28 days of it, right? And the first week of it are different characteristics than the second and then the third. It's broken into thirds. So even within a sign, we're going to have differences and uniqueness.
Oh, yeah.
So we really want to encourage everybody to listen to their own voice.
So I want to take both of those questions and I want to combine them. I love obviously always the flow of what we're talking about, because to start the harmonic convergence, to get us to 2012, to get us to where we are today, is about that, and then taking that the ocean meta-analogy. We're never going to be able to say that with a straight face.
I know, right?
Until it actually catches on, and then we're like, I did that.
You're right.
It's what I've been noticing lately with people is we're going through, and I've talked about it before, we're going through the death phase, death rebirth phase.
Yeah.
Where normally, in all of the centuries we've ever existed, it's been born, live, die, have a spiritual, go back to that soul space, born, live, die, born, live, die, born, live, on and on and on and on and on. Well, now we're doing the born, live, die without physically dying, and being reborn without physically being reborn into another life. It is the end of the old and the beginning of the new. It's why we don't know what the hell we're doing, because we don't have that newborn physical experience of fresh slate.
That's right.
The upside is we get to bring all that wisdom into the new life.
Right.
The downside is we have all that experience, all that memory, all the stories and dramas and hurts and wounds into the new life. So we, in that soul space, is that do not pass go moment. We can't be reborn dragging all this old shit through the doorway. It's got to be let go of and healed.
And yes, thank you for bringing that up. My guides.
Calm down, it's okay.
I know. Choking on it.
Oh my God.
This is so exciting. They just showed me in a client session the other day they said it in a really beautiful way. Now, I've known this information, but they said it in a unique way that caught my attention differently that pertains to our conversation here. They were saying, okay, yeah, the old has to be let go of because we're holding a new frequency that is a higher level in our bodies, and we get to stay in our bodies. Well, as a part of my work, doing a lot of mediumship with people and connecting them to their past loved ones, one of the things that my guide shared with me recently was the people who are passing that are a part of our soul family, it is now being revealed to humanity that they are intentionally on that other side to assist in that cleanup that we still have to do while in our physical form. Now, what's beautiful about that, really got me excited, was they know that they're doing that, and now we're learning that they're doing that. So this is going to change how we even look at death, because it's part of the soul's contract with the other soul to, okay, so when I'm about 80 years old, I'm going to transition, and you're going to be about 50 years old as my daughter, and I'm going to help you because at that point in humanity's progression, you're going to start working on this, this, and this. And so this is a whole contract that they have, and they've been telling me about it, and I feel so honored that they've even said it that way, because what a difference that makes in the mediumship work.
Yeah.
To be able to say that to people.
I'm seeing that as like mountain climbing. When you're tandem mountain climbing, one person goes up and anchors, and then allows the other person to go up and anchor. And so they came in, we came in, they left, we'll leave.
That's right. That's exactly right.
They're anchoring that, catapulting for us. So it is a soul contract.
Well, and I love that, because that meta analogy. Because think about this, we are an eternal soul.
Yes.
And we know ourselves at this point as Cheryl and Morgan, and we think, most people think of themselves as this lifetime. And they don't think in the broader expanse of eternal soul, where you might have 7 or 8 lifetimes that you're actually integrating and working on in this one. So when they pass, somebody else passes in your life, and they're on the other side, the eternalness of our soul, they're still working with us. We're still working on our stuff, whether we're here or we're there.
Oh, yeah. You don't get out of it just because your physical body's not here.
No. Yeah. And so it's just the form change. And there are many of us who are staying here, and then there are many of us that are going to go over there and do the work, but it doesn't change the fact that we're still working.
Yeah, it's not, you don't get a free pass.
Yeah.
Sorry. You still have to work on your shit.
And yes, you did raise your hand in that line and say, I will do that role, right? Yeah.
I love that. So how was your week?
Oh,
Tell me about your surfing.
I have had so much intensity of downloads that I've had this headache that will not go away. It's like the volume of the data that is coming. It's at the base of my spine, well, the base of my skull, at the top of my spine, right where the atlas and C1 and whatnot are. It's been intense. It's been really intense. It comes and goes. It's like when I lay down, it's worse. You think, wait a minute, my head weighs 20-something pounds.
It does?
Our heads weigh that much.
20 pounds.
It's all the brains.
Oh!
You left it open for me.
20 pounds?
Yeah, seriously.
I thought it was like 10.
Our brains.
Our brains. Well, maybe some of us. No. Maybe some of us have a big head.
Our heads really weigh like 18,
I didn't know it was 20 pounds.
18 to 22 pounds is what I was told. So you would think that sitting upright and that weight being on the top of that little tiny spine.
Like an orange on a toothpick.
Right, an orange on a toothpick, exactly. It's not. My headache has been horrendous at the base. And so, anyway, I've been using heating pads. I've gone in for acupressure massage. I went yesterday for another 30-minute massage. I'm like, okay, enough of the headache thing. And it dawned on me, oh my God, it's not my physiology. It's not the physical body. It is the volume by which this energy is coming in. And somehow, I've got like a stopper, like a plug, right about here, and it's not making its way through me.
I was going to ask you, so I was going to ask you, are you sure it's about the downloads? In other words, I feel like you have an obstruction.
Yeah, it is the obstruction. The downloads are coming in, and they're so intense.
But clogging.
But I've clogged it.
Have you clogged it?
Well, I'm thinking that I have by my perception of my level of responsibilities, because the shoulders and that neck area relate to that's where we get the expression, the weight of the world on my shoulders. The neck is symbolic of, energetically speaking, our flexibility in seeing multiple views of things. So when we get very rigid on our view, or we resist a new view, we have like a lockdown in our neck.
Okay.
So it's responsibilities and the views of that, I think. You notice that play on word? I think that's what's going on. I think I'm not allowing it to just come in. I'm being too analytical about it. My
Gotcha.
brain goes too fast,
Gotcha.
and I just need to let go.
Gotcha.
Is really what it is. I need to let go and say, oh, wee, throw the hands up like you do on a roller coaster ride. So my week has been full of some of that self-observation. It's been full of preparing for the fair and all these events, getting ready for a few really major things. Oh, and I delegated. I'm really proud of myself for this. I actually managed to reach that critical point where I say, you know what, I am so done trying to do, all of the stuff. I want to be. I want to be more and not do so much. So I have delegated. I've farmed out to some experts a few different key components of of my businesses. And I'm about to bring on some more experts.
Nice.
And I decided, instead of a virtual assistant who might just do regular old administrative stuff, I wanted experts in each different area. And I'm doling it out.
Look at you go.
I am. Well, how else am I going to create that empire?
I don't know.
I mean, Oprah and Donald Trump don't do all their own emails and all the other stuff. I mean, like, hello, Martha Stewart. Like, how do you think she got to her empire?
Oh my God.
It was by delegating.
How's the chat room?
It's actually blowing up. We got a question that it's a little deep, I think.
We can go deep.
We love deep.
All right, so question. Oh, and by the way, the same questioner is correcting you, saying it does weigh 10 to 11 pounds, the head.
I thought 20 pounds was
Well,
heavy. Maybe yours is 20 because all the brain juice.
It's a high level of activity.
I thought it was
Thank you
10,
for that correction. No, thank you. I appreciate that correction. I was somehow I had it in my head. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the question is, can the sisters talk about the third eye and ways of opening it, if possible? He goes on, or she goes on to say, I was raised Baptist and am very new to the real world. Also, do you recommend any books or videos they can watch?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, tons.
Lord, where to begin?
Yeah. I'll make a couple recommendations because Hands of Light by Barbara Ann Brennan, fabulous book, really easy because it's got a lot of photos and artistry drawings of the chakra system. It goes into great detail. She's an astrophysicist also. So she brings the components of science and metaphysics.
Nice.
I love her work. Hands of Light is the first one, and then there is the second one. I don't remember the full title of, so I don't want to be erroneous in giving a wrong title. But Hands of Light, Barbara Ann Brennan, fabulous book I've used for probably 20 years to refer back to. A lot of great information about the third eye. There are a ton of pieces out there available online that are free, really easy to get to, and meditation absolutely helps with opening of that third eye.
Yeah.
And I know you work with the chakra systems quite a lot. So
Oh yeah, it's my very, very favorite. I know I have a lot of favorites. I catch myself saying that a lot. It's my favorite conversation. I'm like, I have a lot of favorites. The feeling that I'm getting out of like directly answering your question is being raised Baptist, you're going to have programs that are in place of how the world works. Whether you're there or not, you still are taking in those programs, and the third eye is all about perception.
Yeah.
It's how you're seeing your world. It's how you see yourself. It's how you see what you're doing, the judgments about it, the stories that you compile about it. In other words, there's a possibility, if you've been raised in a religious upbringing, when you start segueing over into more of the psychic work, depending on the teachings of that religion, you may have a lot of judgment, a guilt, a fear kind of program going on that will sabotage your opening your third eye. The story is underneath running the show while you're up here going, I'm so frustrated, I don't know why it's opening. It's because that story's down there saying, you're gonna be in trouble, you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna
Right.
have all of those stories. Now, I say all of that with all due respect to religion in general, but I was raised Baptist. I get it. That's why I can say I get it, because there's a teaching in there that you're not allowed to have that. You shouldn't have that kind of ability. That's God's, that's Jesus, those are those prophets' ability. And if you have it, you are a false prophet. So there's a lot of teaching in there about that. So for me, it's about the forgiveness of that. It is what it is. If you've left that side of your life, then move on away from it. I would watch the perception of it. How do you view religion? How do you view yourself in what you're doing now? What are your stories around it? Because that third eye is going to paint the picture for you without you really realizing you're doing it.
You know what I really love about it? I love that she or he has mentioned both in the same statement, because the third eye, the inquisitive side of this person, is saying, hey, how do I open this third eye? And because it is about perception, they also made the statement of, I'm just new to the real world.
Oh, yeah.
So the perception's already opened enough that they're recognizing
The illusion.
that there is an illusion in this old world that they're leaving behind.
Very
So
nice.
there's enough of that third eye apparently open for them that they're saying, oh, there's a whole nother way out there. Just that little crack in the door
Yeah.
will make all the difference in the world in the journey. Stay with it.
Yeah.
Stay with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was a great question.
What else?
Yeah.
Is this fun? We should do this. Rapid Fire Wednesdays.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Actually, it's the same person, and I think they're answering your question. If it's a boy or girl, they're saying both. Two people are watching, my girlfriend and I.
Nice.
And then he goes on
guys.
to ask, how effective is smudging, and is sage the only plant we can use?
No.
Good questions.
Oh,
by the
God,
way.
no.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I wanted to add on his last question. Are y'all familiar with the YouTube series Spirit Science?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that. And
Yes.
there's a lot of really good information
Yes,
on that.
I like that.
They break it down really well, easy to understand, very factual. So
I like the
check
name
that out.
too, because
Yeah.
it really combines. Because
Yeah.
metaphysics is about the unseen, right? It's not all about, we have such myths around that word and a lot of negative connotation when we start using the word metaphysics. But meta is beyond, and physics is this world, right? The physical world. So it's beyond the physical world. So metaphysics with science, I love when that name, Spirit Science, is so fabulous because it starts to bridge us. And so thank you for bringing that one up.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's well
And-
named for the material that they provide.
And the smudging, I just recently learned, smudging is a vibrational rate of D sharp, which is the same vibrational rate as your third eye. Did you know that?
No!
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
So smudging can help, and Native Americans use it in the way I've always understood smudging is that you smudge your home when energy is dense and kind of like you need to shake it up a little bit. You need to cleanse
Right.
it, right? Because it gathers the density, the low vibration energy, and then you open up your windows and it
Yep.
blows it all out. So it's kind of like Febreze.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
so funny. It's nature's Febreze. Oh my God, I love that. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I learned that it is at the same vibrational tone as your third eye,
Okay, now that's interesting. It's D sharp.
D sharp.
Okay, so singing bowls,
Yes,
crystal bowls,
Yes.
they would do the same thing because they would do the vibration that matches a D sharp. Now you'd have to have a singing bowl that was tuned to D sharp. Okay.
Now, with that said, I will say if you start doing tuning bowls, you have to incorporate the whole chakra system
Yes.
in your meditation, because
Yeah.
if you jump right to the third eye without being grounded,
That is a good point.
The root chakra is your safety security.
Yeah.
That's number one. Ground. Google it. Look at how people can ground.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
connecting
yeah.
your energy to the planet. If you're not grounded, the tendency to take on fear when these big experiences happen.
Yes.
Because if you're not grounded and you're not safe and secure in that experience, when you have something going on out here, it'll oh shit, and you'll pull back and
Yeah.
you go, never mind.
Yeah, and it's sort of like pulling back the curtain and seeing something you weren't sure you should see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that same sort of, because that's what you're really doing in opening that third eye. You're getting a new perception. But smudging, I want to just say
Yeah.
one thing about smudging. I love smudging. I do it all the time. I do it for myself around my body, but I also do it at home, and I've done clients' homes for years. Love smudging. It's really powerful. There are lots of other techniques to clear energy, for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be sage smudging. But I do want to mention one of our vendors that is particularly lovely. That I love all our vendors at the Dallas Psychic Fair, but I do want to mention this one in particular because he's an incense provider or vendor at our fair. And he has incense for clearing and smudging of that type. He also has smudge sticks, but he has created... and I am addicted to this stuff. He has created a spray. It is a sage spray.
I love that
And it's
stuff.
aromatherapy in a bottle. It's $12 a bottle. It is well worth it. I have, since he has brought this new product to our fair, probably 5 months ago, oh my God, I think I've bought 8 bottles now. Like, I use it every day in my home to keep the energy really clear. It smells wonderful. You can spray it around your body.
Well, especially when you're at the fair, because
Yeah.
you don't want to burn. You can't.
Well, we
you
can't burn
Can't do
sage
it.
at the fair. And the other thing is that I have a bird, and they have really tiny respiratory. They don't actually have lungs; they have little air pockets, and so they're very, very, very sensitive to any smells. So we have a chemical-free home. I don't burn incense anymore, and so this sage spray is really,
Nice.
really useful. So sage spray at Dallas Psychic Fair, if somebody is interested in that, and
Cool.
they are the incense. It's oh gosh, now I'm horrified. I can't remember the name of their business. I just blanked out. But
You can go to DallasPsychicFair.com
It's on. Yeah,
to a list
it's
of
on our
vendors.
website. Oh God, I cannot believe I forgot. Okay, so
okay.
next.
Let's see. RB Deep, he says, how about some chanting Om? The whole body vibrates.
Yes.
Chanting in order of root chakra. Are y'all familiar with Wayne Dyer?
Love
yeah.
him.
He has a really good guided meditation.
Yes, I have that. I have that CD.
I like how he goes into the explanation at first about how
Yeah.
is really the sound of God.
Yes.
And like if you look at all the past historical names for God,
Uh-huh.
Allah, God, Ra, it's all you know. And, so yeah, he has a really good guided meditation. Very powerful.
I love that one. I actually used it last year for a couple of months of my own healing journey that I was doing last year. Really powerful to do right when you're going to sleep because
Yeah.
it takes you into that altered state. The other thing I want to mention here is because or or Om, they're all really powerful. The vibration that resonates through your body, you can use your name to align your chakras. And I know I've said this before, I'll repeat it for any of the new listeners. You take your name, because it's your personal vibration, right, that you're connecting with, and you say it in a repetitive fashion. So for instance, it would be Cheryl, and you make a tone out of it.
Wow.
And it aligns you. Now do it a few times.